What's up, Israel? What's up? Let's check in with the fam. Guys, what's that picture in the background? Y'all know I always set it off with a picture in the background, right? That's my MO, you know? I like to come in the door kicking. Those look like mountain tops, right, guys? Yeah, it does. That's because it is a mountaintop, guys. It's a whole mountain system, all right? Pay close attention to that because it's just going to look like a pile of dirt, right, guys? Yeah. We see that and we just think it's something to hike. A nice day trip, probably, right? No, guys. It's not just something to hike. It's not just a pleasant day trip. Okay, guys? Those are the Colorado Rockies. A stretch of mountains, guys, that just goes from one coast to the other, from one end to the other, all the way from, I want to say it's Mexico. Well, it's not a coastal area, but it goes on up into Canada. Yeah, it does, guys. Why are we talking about the Colorado Rockies? Because I think y'all need a break from the Family Feud. No, but seriously, guys, we got to go back to the beginning, right? To figure out this Family Feud, what everybody's fighting over, right? What was left behind that has everybody, trying to take Joseph out? What was left behind? Well, you can make sure to know that these Colorado Rockies were left behind. You can be sure of that. Watch this, guys. When I first started doing these studies, guys, remember I told you that at first I wanted to get into the We the People and We the Place race, right? Because I kept seeing something when it came to that subject that I personally thought was a slam dunk for the whole "is this the place?" You know what I mean? Conversation. The reason why I say that is because if you look at the animals here, they tell a tale. The animals here seem to represent a lot of the animals that are mentioned in the Torah. Right, guys? The eagle is mentioned. The bear is mentioned. Locusts are mentioned. Our ephod stones are mentioned, which are a byproduct of mining. Okay, turquoise, agate, all of these are a byproduct of mining, guys. When you look at the Torah and you think about certain animals, right, guys, it'll leave a little trail, right? They were not smart enough to get rid of everything. What do I mean by that? They didn't get rid of everything in the Torah that would have pointed back to where this stuff was taking place, guys, right? So I want to start with a little story that I think traces back to these mountains, guys. Yeah, they left a real big clue in our book for us by leaving this one specific animal. I encourage y'all all to go ahead and try to do a search, right? You can do the same words I did. What did I do? Where are rams indigenous to, right? Because we have a story in our Torah that concerns a ram. And when I was researching the largest oil rock, right? Because that's what we're looking at, guys, when we look at the Colorado Rockies. These are rocks that contain oil. Huge deposits, guys. But not only do they contain oil, there is an indigenous species that only lives here. You know what it is? It's a ram, guys. Yeah. It only lives right there in those mountain ranges. I can't find a locality of anywhere else in the world where these rams are native to. Now, why is that important? Well, don't we got a story, guys, about Abraham and a ram? Let's go to that story real quick, guys. Let me show you guys something. This is in Genesis 22, guys. It says Abraham is tested, right? Sometime later, God tests Abraham. He said to him, "Abraham." "Here I am," he replied. Then God said, "Take your son, your only son, whom you love, Isaac, and go to the region of Moriah. Sacrifice him there as a burnt offering on a mountain I will show you." So Abraham's being asked to take Isaac to the region, his, quote, only son, right? That's where we see the mirror in the story of this with Isaac and the JC story, right? They going to give you immediately that tearful thing of your only son, right? Whom you love. Now, mind you, it's being asked for a burnt offering, right? JC is not a burnt offering, is he? Let's keep going. Early the next morning, Abraham got up, and even if he was a burnt offering, wouldn't that make him a human sacrifice, guys? So we know that that wasn't tolerated. Let's keep going. Early the next morning, Abraham got up and loaded his donkey. He took with him 2 of his servants and his son Isaac. When he had cut enough wood for the burnt offering, he set out for the place God had told him about. On the 3rd day, Abraham looked up and saw the place in the distance. He said to his servants, so he saw the place in the distance, huh? Did he? He saw a place in the distance, huh, guys? I wonder how he was able to see a place in the distance. We're right here. He said to his servants, "Stay here with the donkey while I and the boy go over there. We will worship, and then we will come back to you." Abraham took the wood for the burnt offering and placed it on his son Isaac. He himself carried the fire and the knife. As the 2 of them went on together, Isaac spoke up and said to his father Abraham, "Father." "Yes, my son," Abraham replied. "The fire and wood are here, but where is the lamb for the burnt offering?" Remember, they wanted a lamb, which is a female burnt offering, right? That's the ewe lamb that we've been talking about, guys. So in number 8, Abraham answered, "God himself will provide the lamb for the burnt offering, my son." And the 2 of them went on together. When they reached the place God had told him about, Abraham built an altar there and arranged the wood on it. He bound his son Isaac and laid him on the altar, on top of the wood. Then he reached out his hand and took the knife to slay his son. But the angel of the Lord called out to him from heaven, "Abraham, Abraham." "Here I am," he replied. "Do not lay a hand on the boy. Do not do anything to him. Now I know that you fear God, because you've not withheld from me your son, your only son." Sound familiar, don't it, guys? Abraham looked up, and there in a thicket he saw a ram caught by its horns. He went over and took the ram and sacrificed it as a burnt offering. Now, that's not a female lamb, that's a ram, right? So it's still not a sacrifice for a burnt offering. But anyway, instead of his son. So Abraham called that place, "The Lord will provide." And to this day it is said, "On the mountain of the Lord it will be provided." The angel of the Lord called to Abraham from heaven a second time and said, "I swear by myself, declares the Lord, that because you have done this and have not withheld your son, your only son, I will surely bless you and make your descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky and as the sand on the seashore. Your descendants will take possession of the cities of their enemies, and through your offspring, All nations on earth will be blessed because you have obeyed me. Then Abraham returned to his servants, and they set off together for Beersheba, the well of seven, right, guys? And Abraham stayed in Beersheba. That's that well we was talking about, right, guys? Why is this story important? This story talks about a ram, guys. What's a ram? Well, we're going to find out. Here we are. We're going to find out. It says the ram is an uncastrated male sheep. So he's not going to be castrated, guys. All right. So now we got our eye on an animal, right? Local animal. Why do I say that? Let's get to this story about the Rocky Mountains. 10 Rocky Mountain facts that you didn't know. Fair use, guys, for the purposes of education and criticism, right? Are you keen to know more about the Rocky Mountains? These Rocky Mountain facts will detail everything you should know about one of North America's most majestic landscapes. Y'all heard that? North America's most majestic landscapes. That sounds more like what Joseph got, don't it? Every year, the Rocky Mountains attract hundreds of thousands of skiers, mountain bikers, and outdoor enthusiasts. The mountain range stretched for more than 3,000 miles over 6 states, and it even divides the North American continent with the aptly named Continental Divide, right? All right, these mountains actually divide the country, like right down the middle, guys. All right, I'm gonna show y'all a map a little later. Here are 10 things you probably didn't know about the Rocky Mountains. If you have any other Rocky Mountains facts that we left off this list, please drop them below. So this is going to be their list. If you guys know any more, hey, let's shoot them a message, right? It says the Rockies are home to a super volcano. The volcano is located in Yellowstone National Park and goes by the name Yellowstone Caldera. This is one of the reasons why you can see the geyser in Yellowstone, right? We got a hot springs, it says, and it's a national park. But we're here for this. Bighorn sheep rule the Rocky Mountains. Don't be scared if you see a sheep with thick, large horns on its head in the Rocky Mountains. This is the bighorn sheep, and it's the unofficial mascot of the Rocky Mountains. There are some 400 of these large sheep wandering through Rocky Mountain National Park, and they are known to be very gentle and kind. You have the biggest chance of seeing them from May to June. It's going to tell you got some indigenous people living in the Rockies still. Let's go down here. About this land, Rocky Mountain National Park is, on the unceded land of the who? The UTs pop up again. And a few of these other tribes listed here, guys. All right. But notice who's at the front, right? The good old UT. They're everywhere, aren't they? It says there's a glacier as well. All right. It's one of the most visited parks. It says the Rocky Mountains divide the North American continent. That's what we were talking about earlier, guys, how it goes from, I want to say from Texas on up through to Canada. It says, did you know that all the rivers on the west side of the Rocky Mountains flow to the Pacific Ocean, while all the rivers on the east side of the Rocky Mountains flow into the Atlantic Ocean? This is because the Rocky Mountains divide North America, earning them the name of the Continental Divide. So now they're going to start trying to tell you that these mountains are 80 billion years old and all of this crap. First person to cross these mountains was Coronado. It says the Spanish explorer Francisco Vasquez de Coronado was the very first explorer to walk into the Rocky Mountains. His army and he marched into the mountain range from the south in 1540. He was looking for the 7 cities of gold. Now, haven't I told you guys that this ain't no gold that they're looking for? They're looking for the oil. You better believe it. This ain't no shiny coin, all right? They are looking for rivers of flowing gold. Okay, guys? You watch what I tell you. These cities of gold were supposed to be found in the Rockies of New Mexico. Okay? The cities of gold were El Dorado, Petiti, the cities of Caesar, Lake Paramine at Manoa, Anatilla, Quivira, and Cibola. The stories of these cities were probably based on the legends of the Portuguese about cities of gold on the island of Antilla in the 8th century and the capture of Merida in Spain by the Moors. Says the Rocky Mountains contain massive sand dunes. Okay, remember what we talked about, them wanting to extract the oil from the sand. Says there are 9 national parks in the Rocky Mountains. Here's a list of them. All right, guys. So why is that 7 cities of gold reference in here when we're just talking about the Rocky Mountains, guys? Why is that in here? And why is it linked to the Colorado Rockies? And why have we been able to link Abraham to those Rockies? Huh, guys? Didn't Abraham leave 7 witnesses behind? So now we're going to hear the word 7 cities of gold. We're going to talk about Abraham being out there with these bighorn sheep, right, guys? Which are nothing besides a ram, guys. We back to Abraham's ram. Check this out. Bighorn sheep, scientific name Ovis canadensis. It's a mammal. It's an herbivore. Let's keep reading. Bighorn males are called what? Rams, guys. Bighorn males, called rams, are famous for their large, curled horns. These impressive growths are a symbol of status and a weapon used in epic battles across the Rocky Mountains. Pause, guys. Do y'all remember when we were reading about the Assyrian army? What did the Assyrian army create? The battering ram. Y'all didn't think that was a funny name for it? Where would they get the idea of using a word like ram? Is this not what these animals do? They ram into each other, right? So is it safe to say the Assyrians were inspired by this particular animal to decide to build that weapon? I believe they were. So I believe we know exactly where they were. They were in the Americas, guys. Come on, let's keep going. Clashing of horns, fighting for dominance or mating rights. Males face each other, rear up on their hind legs, and hurl themselves at each other in charges of some 20 miles an hour. The resounding clash of horns can be heard echoing through the mountains as the confrontation is repeated, sometimes for many hours, until one ram submits and walks away. The animal's thick, bony skull usually prevents serious injury. A bighorn's rams can weigh 30 pounds, more than all the bones in his body combined. So how in the world do they even stand when these horns are on top of their head weighing more than what they weigh combined? Female ewes, there goes that word, guys. This is why I liked this article. Because whose name means a ewe? Rachel, guys. So it's also linking us back to Rachel. This is saying that the females are called ewes. Also have horns, but they are smaller size. Bighorns inhabit a vast range from the Rocky Mountains in Canada down to the deserts of the American Southwest. They are relatives of goats and have balanced aiding split hooves and rough hoof bottoms for natural grips. These attributes, along with keen vision, help them move easily about rocky, rugged mountain terrain. Mating and behavior. Wild sheep live in social groups, but rams and ewes typically meet only to mate. Rams live in bachelor groups, and females live in herds with other females and their young rams. When fall mating arrives, rams gather in larger groups and ram fighting escalates. Usually only stronger, older rams with bigger horns are able to mate. It says that in winter, bighorn herds right here move to lower elevation mountain pastures. In all seasons, these animals eat available grass, seeds, and plants. They regurgitate their food to chew it as cud, right? And that also brings us back to the Torah, right? Because that chewing of the cud was what did that make it? A clean animal, right, guys? So we know that the ram was identified in a list of animals. Lambs are born each spring on high, secluded ledges, protected from bighorn predators such as wolves, coyotes, and mountain lions. Check this out, guys. You know who a lamb is not secure from? From an eagle. A lamb is not secure from a golden eagle, which targets lambs. Is that the first you ever heard of that? It's the first I ever heard of it, guys. So you mean to tell me that a lamb is secure from a wolf, a coyote, and a lion, but not an eagle? What's on our flag, guys? The eagle. Yeah. The eagle has snatched up mother's lambs here in the Americas. It says, though not the golden eagle, which targets lambs. Young can walk soon after birth, and at 1 week old, each lamb and its mother join others in a herd. Lambs are playful and independent, though their mothers nurse them occasionally for 4 to 6 months. Yeah, guys, the eagle is the lamb's predator. Y'all don't find that funny? What do we have here? What's on the Holy Roman Emperor flag? A double-headed eagle. Oh, it's snatching up all of the lambs, isn't it? Huh? Rachel's the ewe. Rachel would have given birth to lambs in Joseph, guys. I hope I helped y'all trace this back to right over here in the Americas, guys. Thanks to this animal right here, the ram. They're going to try to distract you and call it a bighorn male sheep. That's a ram, guys. And we know, thanks to our Torah, right, leaving us a clue again, thanks to right here, Abraham found a ram in the thicket, right? Well, we know right here on the front line that Abraham couldn't have found a ram just any old where, right, guys? Because rams don't exist everywhere in this world. But you know where they do exist? Here in the Americas, guys. In the Colorado Rockies, which have the largest oil deposit, guys. Look at this. More oil resources are deposited in the Rocky Mountain region of Colorado, Utah, and Wyoming than the entire world's proven oil reserves combined. I'm going to read it again. The Rocky Mountain region of Colorado, Utah, and Wyoming possess more oil reserves than the entire world's proven oil reserves combined. You guys go ahead and read this story for yourselves. I don't want to keep beating the oil to death. But if you don't see this link, I don't know what to tell you guys. You know what Coronado came in here for. Those 7 cities of gold. That's your oil, Israel. Much love from the front line, guys. I'll see y'all next Shabbat. Take care.